My project here in Blantyre has been on gender and wash. So I've been looking at the cultural and social factors that might influence women's participation in water and sanitation management. Hopefully my project should benefit water people in a number of ways. Water for people are very conscious of including a gender aspect in all of their projects. So I hope my research will act as a baseline to incorporate in sort of future research. With women being such a primary stakeholder in water management, I hope that these kind of research and findings will be taken forward in everything. My name is Shona and I'm from Scotland.
The Climate Justice Fund project at the University of Strathclyde gives students the opportunity to work with local and national government to find ways to enhance integrated water resource management. In the peri-urban environments, water users associations are social enterprises that manage the delivery of water to the nearly 700,000 people living in the townships around Blantyre. There are many women involved in these social enterprises, and learning about their roles and opportunities will be important for the long-term sustainability of water supply in these very poor areas.
My project will help the people here in Malawi because, as you can see, it's primarily women that are mainly involved in water management. So it's really important we understand their needs and help to empower them to manage their own water resources. I think the main challenges will be understanding what people are really interested in, the truth. I don't want to know what people think they should be telling me. It's important to really get to the bottom of all these problems. There's also maybe some kind of cultural and language barriers that might be difficult to overcome, but I'm certainly looking forward to the challenge. By the end of the project, I'd like to understand how we could maybe move things forward when it comes to female management of water. At the minute, there are many women working within the water users associations at the lower levels, perhaps cellar or administrative, but it'd be fantastic if we could understand how we could get women involved in the higher decision-making levels or the board of directors. I think my work here will be useful for the vertically integrated projects because wherever you're working in water management, I think it's so important to understand community. I'm very interested in community development and community projects, so I think I'd like to use it as maybe as a case study to see how it could be replicated in other cities or other countries. When I first came here, my initial viewpoint was mainly going to be on water management. But having done a little bit more research, I think I realised that the provision of sanitation services are equally as important. So I've certainly widened my research a little bit, but the research has gone really well. I've managed to speak to many different types of people, so women in the peri-urban areas in water management positions, a lot of sanitation entrepreneurs, but I've also been able to speak to lots of different NGOs, so not just Water for People, but other companies like WaterAid, the British Development Fund, and another NGO, Concern Universal, who are also based here in Blantyre. The general challenges are people are very busy, and sometimes my research would take half an hour to an hour at a time, so just kind of finding that space with people. There are other subjects that are maybe slightly taboo, things like menstrual hygiene has been a big part of my research, and a lot of people maybe don't want to talk about it. But other issues, again, have been just things like data handling. I have hours and hours of research now, and trying to compile it into something that makes sense has been a bit of a challenge, but I'm working through it. Water and sanitation is certainly very different here than what it is in the UK. In the UK, very fortunate, and they can just turn on a tap and it's there. But there's also some similarities I've noticed. I was able to go to the Long Way and talk to the Ministry of Water, so very high-level water management positions. Some of the issues that the women I was talking with there might be similar to back home. So again, there's very few women in very high-power government positions. So the two standout issues for me were issues of self-esteem and issues of education. In the short term, I think if we were to improve issues of gender and wash, there could be work done to do with maybe sensitising the low-income communities to issues of gender and capacity building to sort of make women aware that their issues are perfectly valid along with men. In the longer term, I think it's issues of illiteracy that would really help empower women. Education is empowerment, but I think that's a huge long-term project for things to work on. Personally, I think I've learned a lot. It's been great for my confidence. It's always great to go out and work with different types of people and different cultures. When it comes to my own work, when I had one interview with another NGO, they were saying they were doing this study across sort of the peri-urban areas of Blantyre, and they have all these indicators about what's welfare and what's well-being, and it's things like access to healthcare and education. But instead they went out and asked people, what makes you happy, what's well-being? And the two standout things were access to food and just general social cohesion and harmony. And I realised as an outsider, when you're trying to research or study things, you come with your own sort of ideas. But I guess the takeaway message for me is to really work with communities on an individual by individual basis and find out what will work for them personally.